Yes.
Is live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's live right now. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's live.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to our live podcast. Um, hey, we have one subscriber now. Oh wow! I hope it's not
I
us.
think it must be me.
You subscribed?
I might have. I think to watch it, I think it was asking for
Okay.
something. I'm sure I must have, yeah.
Acha, okay. Yes.
But
I
yeah,
thought that's like a crazy thing.
yeah, I think because when you, yeah, to just access it or to even I had to like log in. So I did something, yeah. That's me. But I haven't seen it like 18 times. There is somebody
Right.
watching it, watching the content.
I think slowly people will start watching.
Yeah.
I'm also checking whether our videos have come because yesterday did not happen. Right now it's streaming. Yeah, I checked.
Okay.
It's better,
I
I
thought
think.
that the same two videos have been uploaded. I thought the
Oh
second
no no
video was
no.
also the same video, maybe in a different format. But then when I
Uh,
heard it, I realized that the video is missing.
yeah,
Like
because you
one.
must have thought that it's the same video because I've not changed the name of the videos.
Oh yes, so yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think
it
that's why,
was
yeah.
just yeah, it was just with the same name that
Correct.
welcome to
Yes.
our live show or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to change it here so that when we start, it
Oh,
starts.
all right.
I don't know it yet. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll today what is that we're going to talk about?
So I think in yesterday's conversation we spoke quite a lot around um, some jargons that are used in the retail industry, especially specifically in the B&M teams, buying and merchandising teams. And I think we spoke briefly about sell throughs while talking about the covers. So yeah, we can like maybe expand on what sell throughs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that my understanding about sell through is that we need to see both sell through and cover together because just by seeing one parameter may not give us. I think when when we went joined retail
Mm-hmm.
at around that time, sell through was like the parameter. People wouldn't see the other parameters, and then they
At
would just
all.
only, yeah, they would just only see sell through. And yeah, I think first we'll talk about what sell through is for our
Yeah.
viewers, and then probably
Yeah.
we'll get into
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
things.
But from my just adding to that from my experience, I feel the rate of sales is the most important one and maybe the most accurate one because of the way it's determined. But yes, so coming back to sell through, yes, exactly. Like it gives, it's a key indicator of how your category is doing, how your business is performing, and
Right.
it gives you a very quick understanding of your stock and sales. So the way
Yeah.
it's calculated is you take your total stock. Total stock means you literally like look up everywhere, anything on the shop floor, in your stock rooms, in your warehouse. All of that is your stock, and that you divide by your total sales.
Right.
And total sales usually should be looked at from a period so that if you're calculating the sell throughs of core stock, you're not you just don't run the numbers for an indefinite period. You always calculate your sell through for a period of time.
Right.
So let's say
So
if you were to look at your spring summer sell throughs and you were doing your sell throughs in February, you would run your sales from the 1st of Jan to that day in February. If you were running your sell throughs in June, you would run it from the 1st of, or whenever your season begins. Because I
right.
think 1st of January could be end of season sale. So it could be your full price sell through might, and it's always full price. That's another uh, thing that you have to like look at, that you never calculate sell throughs of discounted products because of course like when once you discount the product it will sell.
Selmo.
But yes, so you'd look at your full price sell through because that gives you an accurate picture. So
So
you need to know the
mathematically,
period of. I think once you
mathematically,
take care of the period of time, so that you need to like mark somewhere. You need to know that from this day onwards I started selling, or the day the product hits the shop floor and starts selling full price.
okay. So it is. How do you calculate it mathematically? It is.
So
Uh,
it is your total
say,
stock of a product line, of one product line, uh, and then you divide it by, sorry, the total stock of a product line divided by the total sales for that period of time.
for that period. So
No,
that if
sell through is your total, yeah, the quantity sold. Sorry, the percentage, it is the total sales in that period of time divided by the total stock holding. So, as a percentage of total stock, how much have you sold?
yeah, how much have you sold, right?
So, if you have
Uh,
10 pieces and you have sold five, so that's 50% sell through. So, it's a very basic formula. It's a very simple mathematical formula.
so
But
if
then you
you
can
have,
compare it with a category where you've bought 1,000 pieces. And once you look at the sell through, at least you understand, because in 1,000 pieces, you might have sold, let's say, 300 pieces. That's only 30% sell through. So when you compare the sell throughs, it can be compared to another product. Yesterday, I think we also spoke about categories which are value generating categories and categories that are volume driving.
right?
So it gives you this indication gives you, indicator gives you an idea of how to compare those two product lines. So where you've bought only 10 pieces as compared to something where you've bought 1,000. So you're just looking at that category on its own.
Yeah. So coming back to the calculation, say for example, if I bought 10 pieces and then three sold, so then the sell through is 30%.
Yes,
Okay, so three sold, and so it is basically
a
three
percentage.
divided by how much you sold divided by the total inventory that you actually bought into 100 or something like that. Yeah.
Yes,
So it's,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
it's three divided by 10, which is zero point 0.3, and zero point 0.3 into 100 is 30%. Yes.
yeah.
So the
So it's always
amount that,
a percentage. It's a sell through percent. So what's the
yeah,
sell through percent is so if so you would have an idea of, again, that at the end of the season my core line should have sold at least 60%. Fashionable lines might, you might want to, um, you don't want to have too much inventory to go into the mid-season sale, so you might aim at achieving a higher sell through. I know that retailers do aim at 85%, 90% sell through. FMCGs might have it a little higher, but I've also seen where if you get 55 to 60% full price sell through, people are happy. If the production is in house, if you're
right.
also manufacturing it, I think it's still like a
And
profitable thing.
how is it different from the rate of sale, and what's rate of sale?
So rate of sales is always, it takes into account another parameter, which is so it will take your total sales, number of weeks it's been on the shop floor, and also how many channels this product is distributed into. So
Uh-huh.
it takes all of that into account.
Okay, so
So when you are calculating your weekly sales, which is just like you look back at the last 3 weeks and you see your average, you get your average weekly sales. But your rate of sales goes breaks it down further by dividing it by the number of channels it's been sent to.
right. So
So it's like a small number. Usually they say that if your rate of sales is more than three, because it becomes like a tiny number. So if it's more than three, it is good rate of sales. Anything lower than closer to three is also considered good, but anything 0.1 to 0.2, 0.3. So there are like those indication. So what is happening here is you look at your total sales for the week. You take your total sales, you divide it by the number of weeks it's been on the shop floor, and you also divide that number by the distribution, the
yeah, number of
stores you've
stores that
sent
have
it
been
to.
there. So
Yeah.
it's basically the quantity sold per week per outlet,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, per window
Yeah.
per week. So that's
Yes.
the
Actually,
rate of
yeah.
sales. Okay, okay, so that's interesting. So okay, so that's another thing now. Okay, so maybe we'll talk about it another.
I think this is all like because it comes out of your buying sheet. So when you're making your buying plan, these are the numbers you're like taking into consideration. The cover, because you need to have an idea of what the life cycle of this product line looks like. So for that, you would put your covers in your base stock. We spoke about it. An idea of what the minimum quantities required in a shop floor are.
Right,
Then what is the expected sell through? So you're putting those markers at the beginning of the season when you're making your buying plan, and then
right.
through the season you are like assessing compared to your buying plan that how are the product performing. So that's your markers. The benchmarks have been set at the beginning of the season, and then based on what you had assessed the sales to be, what is the sales, and where are you ending the season. So that's like a season, like how you're managing a season or how you're looking at a season
Yes.
from
So
numbers.
mhm.
And rate of sales, again, like once you look at the rate of sales, then you can compare different product lines with each other, irrespective of how many pieces you've bought into it. So, whether you've bought 10 pieces or you've bought 1,000 pieces, looking at the distribution week, um, I think it's like a good comparison point, like the sell through.
Yeah, so sell through will help if all the merchandise from the thing that you're saying. My understanding is that if say for example at the beginning of the season all the merchandise like all the options are launched at the same time, and if two or more or many are launched at the same time, then if we know that how much had it sold if all of them have launched at the same time, and then if we compare all of them we'll get to know that which is selling better, right? It's like if everybody is starting from the same line, and then if there is a running race, and who came first or who came last, right? So it's sell through is also
Sell through will
makes
give you that, yes. Rate of
makes
sale
sense.
would be higher for something where you've bought deeper. If you've bought like 1,000 pieces, of course, what you're selling every week would be a bigger number. So then maybe the numbers, the rate of sales would look different. But I'm imagining that any volume driving line would be distributed better. It would be sent to all the channels available. Whereas a line which is maybe a fashion driven line, an exclusive line, maybe you just send it to your A stores. You don't send it to
Right.
all your stores. So I think yes, it's like a good point of comparison. Rate of sales also does the same. But yes, it might give you a bigger number for rate of sales on a volume driving line would obviously be bigger
Yeah,
depending on the
makes sense.
distribution. But yes, like you are not seeing any of these numbers individually, you're looking at all of that collectively. Like what's the cover, what's the stock cover, what's the percentage sell through looking like, what's your average weekly sales, what's your rate of sales, how many weeks has this product been on the shop floor, and what are the remaining number of weeks left for you to trade this product line. So you have that sheet where you're looking at this every week on week, and if you're able to like look at, if you're able to get more real time data, then yeah, maybe more often. But at least weekly trading, this is what you're looking at. So you're not just looking at one um, indicator individually, but like collectively what it's doing. Because I think, see, from how a non-merchandiser would look at numbers is that I have sold wherever you're selling lots of inventory, wherever the more money is coming from, takes up a bigger percentage. So when you roll out your product, your sales mix, you would say the mix has 30% out of this category. So probably this is my best selling category, but you have to deep dive into the category to see what was on offer. Did you offer it on a promotion? Was it discounted? And if another aspect is like availability, was the stock available from day one? how much time did it have on the shop floor. So there are different ways of assessing it. But on from a top line, if somebody's making a decision, they would just say that maximum percentage came out of this category, so this is where I should assign all my money in. But the reasons of that mix being big could be different. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to the thing, I was also thinking that for sell through, so you were saying that there are different parameters that needs to be looked into. One is the sell through, another is the cover, the third is the rate of sale. Is there anything else that we need to see? You said that there is a sheet that you can look at. Um, is there anything
So see, like
cover?
I said, that the starting point is the buying plan. So when you're
Mhm.
buying, you have an understanding of your um base stock.
Okay.
So base stock, and you are also deciding at that point that if you're buying a particular line, how long do you want to trade it for. I mean, those are decisions that should be made at that time. Lots of people will still buy and they will not even decide how long they want to keep it on the shop floor. Maybe for e-com
Right.
business, that's not needed, that's not required. But on a physical shop where you want to like refresh the collection because of maybe there's a marketing calendar, maybe you're like running a campaign and it needs a refresh, and regular customers who are visiting the shop, you want to offer something new to them. So there's a limitation of how long an inventory can sit on the shop floor. So for the 6 months, for the whole year, you're not going to have the same inventory in the shop. So
Right.
when you're making your buying plan, you're deciding that this product line is for 20 weeks, this product line is for 16 weeks, this is for 8 weeks. And then once you start trading your season, so what is happening at week 2? What is happening at week 3? Are you are you launching all your product lines on the same day? So one line could be experiencing its first week, whereas the others might be on a different week. It could be like
Right.
the fourth week or the sixth week for them. So how are you
Uh-huh.
comparing these products? So I think these are the numbers that help you compare. So you could also do like when you're looking at that sheet, you could just put everything that's been on the shop floor for 8 weeks and then you compare them. And then you can
Right.
also look at that all
So
these lines have been on the shop floor for 10 weeks, and out of this, some lines already are close to 45% sell through. Some have sold 60%, and some are still sitting at 12% or 13%. So, then those are indications. And then if you're comparing a line which has sat on the shop floor for 16 weeks and has sold 60%, and a new line has come in which has just been on the shop floor for 2 weeks and is at
right.
20%, maybe the
Right.
new line is a better selling product. So
Right.
that's when you would look at your rate of sales.
That's true. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So sell through is, again, like I said, it is more accurate when you're looking at the window of sales, the period, and that. But the intention of so at the end of the season, the sell through is quite accurate because you know that all the product that was bought and was sold was meant for the whole season. Then at that point, uh, whether a line lived for 10 weeks or 20 weeks is not important because the season has concluded. And
Yeah.
then you
That
can
makes sense.
compare all the sell
Ev-
throughs against each other. But
Everything
in
has
the
to go.
middle of your trading season,
Ah,
yeah.
makes sense. Now it makes sense. Yeah. So sell through, like you said, sell through at the beginning of the season when everything is launched at the same time. That maybe it makes sense to
Then,
compare
yeah, then
the
you can compare if it's
which is
launched at the
ahead.
same time.
And then
But
at the
at
end of the season, when we want to discount, we kind of know everything has to go out irrespective of when what came. Even if it's
then you
like
can
a
compare again your
mid-season
sell-throughs.
launch,
But
again
in the
you have to
middle of the
compare.
season,
In the
one
middle
month
of the
into the
season, then
season,
yeah,
you should be
then
comparing lines which have lived the same length of life.
right. So
The,
so
yeah.
either it has to live the same length of life, or when you want to discount them together at the end of the season, or if we want all of them to go at the same time, go out of the shelf, or
Yeah.
just get
Yeah.
discounted and then beans
Yeah.
everything goes out so that the new season comes. So I think sell through is like now my understanding is that sell through is more relevant probably when everything is launched at the same time, maybe at the launch of the time, then you just kind of get to know that who's ahead of the race and who's behind.
Yeah,
It gives you
yeah,
some kind of a
yeah.
parameter. Somewhere in the middle, it becomes murkier because then you have something which is launched at the beginning of the season and something which is launched at the middle of the season. Then you cannot compare because it's not you're not doing justice to the ones which are launched later. They would
Yeah.
definitely have a lower sell through. And then again at the
And
end of the
even,
season, no
yeah,
matter what, then we'll have to discount. So we see the sell
yeah.
through and then we decide what is the kind of discount that we're going to give, so
Because
that
yes,
all
at
people.
the end of the season, how long a line lived on the shop floor is not important, because that season it was bought for is over, and a
Right.
new season will begin, new inventory will come in. So at the end of the season, yes, it makes sense. You can like just calculate your sell throughs. But if you're trading, if you're looking after a category which is mostly driven by, so let's say you're taking care of a category which has 80% of core lines and only 20% fashionable lines. So your sell throughs are always going to look smaller, because on core lines you want to have enough inventory. You will never be at a point where you're running out of inventory, because the way a core line is managed is very different. On your core lines, you always want to have full availability. There would never be fragmentation. So you know the base stock that we were talking about. So on core lines, you would always make sure that the base stock is available and a little more. And depending on when your core stock is replenished into the warehouse, you will always be sitting on lots of inventory, because
Right.
it's
So,
calculated on the total stock. So on a core line, so let's say you have a few drops on a core line. So you would have a drop in the beginning of the season, you would have it like mid-season. There would be more replenishments, more production replenishments for a core line, because you don't it doesn't die at the end of the season. It flows into the new season.
so is
So,
sell
the
through
total
relevant
stock
for
on your
core
core
line?
lines will always be more. So, when you're comparing a category that is mostly driven by core lines with another category which is only fashion driven, then that's not the right indicator. You can't say that the fashion line, which has 80% sell through, and the core category, which has only 55% sell through, I'm going to put my money to the fashion lines. Then that's not going to give you an accurate picture of what's happening, because the way the two are traded is very different. Because by
Yeah.
this
So
logic, you would say that put all your money into the fashion lines, because 80% sell through has happened there and only 55 has happened here. But you need to see that that's intentional, and that's how those two categories are run.
makes sense. So what you're saying is that
Then you
we
will
cannot
see that how
compare
much
the
is
sell
the.
through of the core line and the fashion line. We cannot compare the sell through of the core line and the fashion line.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Even within a category, if you have some fashionable lines and like seasonal lines, which were meant to run out at the end of the season, you can't compare them to a line which is meant to live longer.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you
Because,
brought in a line like
uh,
a fashion. So let's say like you have a holiday line which is only summer centric, and then you have another line which is, so you have summer collection, and then you have a robe which is like all year round, a black or a beige robe which you sell all 12 months of the year. So from January to June, the inventory on your robe would pretty much look the same. It will only go down when you haven't got a replenishment from the, um, a production replenishment has not been received. Only then there would be some low levels, but you are maintaining that level. So, there will be no point where you will see that you've 100% sold out your robes, because that's not how you're trading that department.
correct.
Whereas on your holiday line, your summer seasonal lines, in those 3 months, you would have wanted to get rid of all of them. So now, if you compare your 75 sell through that has come out of holiday with a robe which was meant to stay all through the year, the sell through cannot be. They will give you an incorrect picture. You can't compare them then based on sell through. because the
Yeah.
sell-throughs of the robe at any given point of time would be lower based on the inventory that it always carries. And it's supposed to carry that total stock all year round.
Ha. So you are intentionally keeping the sell through low because you keep replenishing it.
Yeah. I
Therefore,
mean, you're not keeping the sell-through low. It's just the way the sell-throughs are calculated because it is total stock sold divided by
divided
the
by the
total
bottom.
stock holding.
Bottom. Yeah.
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 So
Total
the
stock
on
bottom.
call lines you will always have at least the minimum, the base stock available at any given point of time.
Right.
And if you don't have it, that means you're not trading the department well. You're not taking care of it properly. So I'm saying
Because
that
you
that and this cannot be compared.
need that stock there all the time. So sell through is so total stock sold divided by the total stock bought. And so
Yeah.
as the sell through goes higher, which means that our inventory is going to go down because everything is getting sold, and because it's an
Yeah. Yeah.
core line and we want the stock to be on the store, so we keep buying. So as the numerator, the above number and below numerator and denominator, as the sold increases, and then we are kind of buying also, so the denominator also keeps increasing,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
the sell through doesn't goes up
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
higher level,
So
which means that we
yes.
don't want it to
Yeah.
be a stock out situation.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so
for
that's the.
for your
Mhm.
core stock, there are like different ways of how they're looked after. Like departments which carry a lot of core lines will have a production plan always, so that this situation never arrives. 100% sell through on a core line means that you didn't trade the department well, and now you're losing sales because of
Right. Makes
unavailability of products. So it is managed also differently, but invariably or most of the time I think that your core lines are such lines which actually, if they're not available, they will affect your top line number. For example, in Marks and Spencer, we had, like, in the lingerie department, we had one product line and it contributed to 2% of the total sales
right.
of the business. So
Uh-huh.
if there was any unavailability on this product line, that 2% sales would, for the whole business, would get affected. And our smallest department was kids wear, which was a 3% contributing department. So you can see how big this product line was, how important it was to the business.
Makes
So you
sense.
would
Yeah.
never want to see 100% sell through on a line that's contributing to 2% of the total sales, like just one product line. So,
And with respect to fashion, if we would want the
yes,
sell through to become
you would want the sell
100%
through,
because
yes,
we wanted
because
to
they're
bring.
bought with the intention of selling during a certain period. Once that trading period is over, you can compare all your sell throughs, and that will tell you exactly which was a good selling line, which was not a good selling line.
And so that we can bring some newness
Yes,
to the
yes.
department.
And I think your averages are also very different. Like, I've seen companies maintain their own sell throughs or for fashion lines, saying that at the end of the season, if it's 80%, it's the like a super hit product. If it's somewhere around 60%. So year after year, I think every company has to determine its own sell throughs. But anything that is close to 80% is a good selling line. Anything above 80% full price sell through would be good. And so that you're like just getting rid of 20% inventory in your markdowns in the end of season sale.
Right.
Yeah.
So we also talked about how to get more core freshness in our core items also. So if some, say for example, certain options or certain merchandise has a very high sell through, we launched it as a fashion, but it has a very sell through. Can we convert them into a core? Is that a good? I mean, can we experiment for um, one more season so that whether to see whether it can become a core? What parameter helps us to identify more core merchandise for our business? Is it sell through that helps us find out more merchandise?
See, if it was a seasonal line that came in and it had excellent sell through, it was the best selling line in that season, then yes, you sell through can be an indication. Rate of sales, like every week, per week, per store, how many units were getting sold. That is another indication. And also as a contribution to the whole category, what percent did this best selling line contribute? And if the numbers were really crazy, what percentage to the total business came out of this line? I think there are like different ways of seeing it. And then the supply chain requirements, that can it be offered to the customers on a regular basis? What are the lead times looking like? Which factory does it come out of? What are the margins? So there are like different things that you will be looking at. Sometimes certain buyers would, like I said, in Marks and Spencer, there was one product line that contributed to 2% of the total sales for the whole business. So
Yeah.
it was just available in basic colors. Now, as a buyer, you could experiment by bringing that product, the best selling product line, into another color which is not like black, brown, or white, maybe like something, but something different, which can be used as a, let's say, blush pink. And you feel that maybe it can also become a core. So you just
Right.
experiment it for a season and you see, did it do well? Did it do anything close, numbers, anything close to those best selling core lines? And that would give you an idea. So sometimes like buyers would make these decisions that we already have this black and white in core. I'm going to introduce another color which I feel looks very basic and core, and we'll just test it for the 6 months. If it does well, we continue with it. If not, we get rid of it. So I
Makes sense.
think, yeah. But I think at the end of the season, you will look at all your numbers. It's not just going to be sell through on its own, but yeah, sell through as a quick glance at how everything has done, because it's like one percentage that you need to remember. So if you're trading footwear and you say that at the end of the season, my total sales for my sell through percentage for footwear was 70%, and then you're asking another department which does denims, and they're saying that their sell through was 60%. So just as a comparison, though like what's happening internally in those categories would be different, but at the end of season, if you were to just roll up your seasonal products um, sell throughs, then it would just give you a quick comparison of what happened where.
What happened where, especially at the
Yeah.
beginning of the, and also, yeah, like also another thing is that we discussed is that at the end of the season it's a good number to look into to decide what discount or what offer that we can give to the to different categories and subcategories and certain options, because sell through gives us how much stock is there in hand, and it can directly uh,
Yeah.
affect our strategy on discounts.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you buy anything, I think no buyer would buy products with the intention of just being left with 90% of the stock to liquidate at the end of the season. So, after like a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, if you still feel that certain lines are under 10% sell through, then that is an indication to you that, okay, like it's been on the shop floor for 3 weeks. It has like a good distribution, good availability, full size sets available on the shop floor, and we've like put it right in the front of the shop floor and it's still not selling, then it is an indication. Then that becomes a line that you would watch for the rest of the season and take calls whenever you get a chance. So if you have a mid-season sale, so you start identifying that these are slow sellers, and when I get the first chance of mid-season sale, maybe it just needs to go into the mid-season sale. I have the
Yeah.
intention of keeping it for the full 6 months, but maybe not. Maybe I need to liquidate it now, otherwise I'll end the season with too much inventory. So sometimes you have to make those calls.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's a very good parameter and a quick and a fast way to find out how what to be liquidated and what not, what should be just left.
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
yes. I think it just gives you sales and what's happening with this, how much stock you have. Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
it's like sales and stock. Like this is the sales number of pieces, and then these are the number of pieces that you have.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes
And then
sense.
it will give you, like, the cover will actually give you that you need 36 weeks or you need 40 weeks, and you know that you don't have 40 weeks in the season. Till the end of the
Yes,
season, you just have 12 weeks left. So, when you're comparing these numbers against each
that's
other,
true.
then that helps you make a decision, take a call. Yeah.
Ha, take a call on what to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So anything that we missed out in sell-through, Snigdha, anything else with respect to? I think I remember
I
that when I joined retail the first time, everybody was talking about sell-through. But then later, over a period of time, I understood that it's not the only parameter that you need to look into. That was my
Yeah.
very early memory about sell-through, because there was too much emphasis, especially in Mumbai, there was a lot of emphasis on sell-through.
Sell-throughs, yeah. I remember like in one of the retailers, in Indian retailers, there were like the buying teams were divided into two departments. So one was all fashion products and one was the home
Cool.
section. So the sell-throughs, and then they had determined like over, because they traded, they had like 10 years of or 15 years of sale history to determine what sell-throughs at the end of seasons would look like. So at the as a new buyer, they would just give you like a printout of that this is a bestseller, this is a poor seller. So there were percentages, but they were different for the soft goods and they were different for hard goods. So home had a different sell through printout, whereas home, any apparel had different ones.
Print out,
And
yeah.
you could tweak it at the end of the year. You would say that this doesn't work for us. Like our sell throughs look more like this. So our bestsellers sit somewhere here. So it's also your understanding, and I think sell throughs are very different from retailers to retailers. You can't say that in an ideal world, yes, you want to sell 90% of all the products. But when you've
Yeah.
distributed it to hundreds of stores and it runs into size sets, it's very
Yeah,
difficult
then
to have 90% sell through. Yeah.
yeah, another thing is that some, yeah, like you said, oh, this is a good point, yeah, because sometimes if if the size sets are broken, which means if there are so I mean, as a total volume, it might look like you have 30 pieces in that X store, but then if the sizes are broken and the fast moving sizes are not there, and it's all that only slow moving sizes are there, then also it might show that there is a
Yeah.
less sell through, but it doesn't really tells whether
Yeah.
the option or the style or the category is not doing well. It's maybe because
Yeah.
there's no inventory. So that's when you have to see an inventory. Yeah, this is what I remember. I remember there was so much emphasis on sell through, but then eventually when I dig deep, then I found that sell through was not the only. Yeah, so these are the blind spots that sell through has, because it can say that this there is 30 pieces in this X store, but all that is that maybe M and S size, it doesn't have any. It's all that all the 30 pieces is only
Up
XL.
range. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
XL or XS on the and the
Yeah.
fast moving sizes are not there. So
Yeah.
so I think when we look at sell through, should we then look at sell through with respect to sizes, if for apparel? Is that
I think,
a
like I said, it is very category centric. So it will be different for footwear. It would be different for um, an FMCG where there are no sizes, where you're just
yeah?
selling like one piece and it doesn't run into any other, it has no SKUs at all. So, and then you also have to be conscious of the trading season. But I think what sell through also tells you is at the end of the season, what is the inventory that you will have to discount. So, when you're looking at your top line numbers, that this is the profit, this is the margin, this is what I earn from my department. So, you have already built that into your number. That at the end of the season, 70% is going to sell at full price, and this is the margin that I want to get out of it. Whatever margin you've uh, cal- put the MRPs, the retail selling prices on, and then you are okay to sell the rest 30% at a discount and take
Uh-huh.
a margin hit. So those numbers are already built. So I think sell through also gives you an indication of that 70% is like full price sales. This is my margin is safe. This is what I would want to earn out of this line. And 30% I'm okay to give at a 50% discount or a 20% discount. So those, even that number working, like top line number working, I think sell through is an important figure there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
like for decision making, but like as long as you're taking care of those parameters that you have to make sure the life that a product has lived on the shop floor at the end of the season, you can compare all the products, and whether it's a core line or a seasonal line or an absolutely exclusive fashionable line, then you can't compare these with each other. You can compare all your cores together, you can compare all your seasonal products together, you can compare your exclusive lines with each other, but not this way.
Not yeah, and provided all of them are launched at the same time also, that's another thing that we already
Yes.
covered.
That's why like at the end of the season it makes more sense. But in the middle of the season you should be looking at how long. Like I said, so if you're looking at your products which have been there for 8 weeks, you just pull up those lines. For 10 weeks, you pull up those lines. And then you look at the sell through. Then that's the best way to look at the sell through.
Right.
But you can't
Makes
just
sense.
roll up everything and look at it together. Because if you've suddenly at the beginning of the month, if you sent a refresh of stock, so your inventory levels have gone up, so your sell through will come down.
Yeah,
But at the
yeah,
end of the season, you're not sending any more inventory in. So what is the stock is the absolute availability of stock. That's they're getting no replenishments anymore.
so that
So even that.
kind of
So at the yeah.
so that kind of gives the clear picture.
Yeah. So I think sell through, as long as you're looking at it from a point of view of period of time it's traded for, it makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we covered pretty much
I think
almost
so.
every.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing else. Like this is what I've always like had to explain that when you're looking at sell through, that why is the sell through looking so poor in the first month of or 4 weeks of trading a product line? I mean that's your answer. You can't have 80% sell through in 4 weeks. So it
Right.
has to be, it's been brought into the business to trade over a period of time. So
Exactly.
you're not doing justice to the line by looking at the sell through in 4 weeks and comparing it to a line which has sat on the floor for like 10 weeks and saying that why is that selling better when you said
Yeah.
this would do well. So you will get a full picture only when you've let it trade for the life it was meant to live.
Yeah.
So that
Makes
life
sense.
cycle of the product, yeah, has to be
Makes
also
sense.
taken into account.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I think tomorrow, the next live, can we go on the next live about rate of sales? We'll do the rate of sales, I think, because we did
I think
cover
maybe
and
we'll,
then,
yeah, we can do that. Maybe we'll have to just write it somewhere. I don't know if it's possible, or maybe on a piece of paper because I think it needs to be explained a certain way. But yeah,
right?
maybe
Yeah.
rate of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We can write it down on a piece of paper.
yeah, yeah. We can have it on rate of sales. That is another like important, yeah, indicator.
Yeah. Cool. Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah. We'll do that.
all right.
So yeah, that's about it.
Right.
I think we need to have a good intro of how to start the podcast and then how to say bye.
Yes,
Some
I
write up.
think we will.
That's it
But
for
since
now.
these are live videos, I think yeah,
It's up.
just
It's
getting the
pretty
hang
much
of it. Yeah.
yeah. So when I teach when I teach I was AI, then I was doing a lot of live classes, no. So I think almost always say that that's it enough for now and see you in the next class same time, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can say that like, but yeah,
Because I
now we
know.
know that we're going to see them. We'll have another live session tomorrow. We can
Yes.
say that. Let's see you tomorrow
Yeah.
for
See,
another session.
live session. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop
See
the
you
live.
tomorrow.